30 years and over 7,500 events, and approximately 30 million people have come through these doors in Salt Palace. This hotel will not only benefit you, but the city itself, and only one contractor to do it. We are Raider Construction Group. We're gonna tell you on who we are. We're gonna ensure that the quality gets done not only with precision, but with your vision in mind. We're gonna ensure that the safety is our top priority and make sure that every dollar counts. We were established in 1989. We have over 150 skilled workers, over 100 projects, all done here in Utah, California, Georgia, and Florida. My name is Lance Longoria. I'm your senior project manager. This is our senior estimator,
Hi, I'm Anna Pong.
our senior superintendent, Wallace Cardozo, and our safety manager.
Alva Ortiz.
These are three relevant projects to describe on why we'll be the right fit for you guys. Intercontinental in San Diego, we dealt with weather conditions on a constant basis, it being right next to the beach. This helped us navigate to ensure that our completion date never got delayed. 95 State at City Creek is actually 2 blocks away from where we're standing right now. This helped us not only to understand the municipalities, but also to deal with local vendors to ensure that there is no delays in our supplies, manpower, or materials. This also helped us to create a logistics plan to ensure the safety of our personnel, including the safety of the public. And Signia by Hilton in Atlanta, Georgia, this is actually 1 block away from the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. This helped us learn and helped us navigate when it comes to high traffic and high event areas to ensure that there is no impact to our project schedule, but as well as the surrounding businesses. Raider Construction is big on how can we give back to the community, and we found 3 easy steps in how to do that. Our workforce development, we hire local vendors to not only put money in our pockets, but to put money in theirs as well. A second way that we do this is by our community celebration. So we do a topping party that we bring in not only the clients, us, but as well as the neighbors, so that way they feel part of the build itself. Because it's not only benefiting us, but it's benefiting the city itself. Another way is active communication. We do this by sending out a bi-weekly newsletter with an updated schedule as well as a point of contact for every process of the project. That way, the community is never being impacted by our work and vice versa. So they have business flowing as usual, and as well as our project is going as usual. This is just a quick snap of our schedule, of our milestones, um, of our critical path. I wanted to show this to you guys to show you that our aggressive start, as well as the two most important parts of this construction, which is auger piles, as well as the mat slab foundation. Utah has approximately 33 earthquakes per year here in Utah. So I wanted to show that the auger piles and mat slabs are not only showing a breakdown of, on timely manner, but of the quality that is needed to secure this site for long standing. And now I'm going to hand it over to our project estimator.
Thank you, Lance. Let's talk money, right? Our estimate is about 307 million after the addenda that we received from you yesterday. That price will include our general requirements as well as our general conditions. This is a quick snapshot of our estimate, which you can always refer back to in your proposal as well. The highest cost drivers here will be our curtain wall, our structural steel, as well as our concrete. Being here in local in Utah, we work with a lot of the local subcontractors. So we are working very closely with them to make sure that we're delivering the best product to you at the best price that you can get. We will be self-performing drywall. That way it's a way that we can control the schedule as well as control the cost. And again, make sure we're delivering the best work to you under your budget. And now I'll pass it on to my superintendent, Wallace.
Thank you so much, Anna. A tag that my team always like to use is the quality control is a process, it's not a product. With over 35 years of experience, Raider Construction has developed a quality control program that has allowed us to deliver successful projects throughout the years. Our in-house commissioning manager is the key to close the gap between our trade partners and the commissioning agents. This way, we will avoid delays and we will deliver a project with quality and on time. Uh, our quality control program and commissioning program starts on day one. Our managers are required to be part of the procurement phase as well as the submittal phase. This way, we will be able to select the right vendors and as well review the submittals and plans. Uh, our managers are also required to be part of our pre-construction and pre-task meetings. This way, we will ensure that all our trade partners are aware of our quality requirements and commissioning requirements. Raider Construction has over 35 years of experience. We not only have the experience necessary, but we also have the people to successfully deliver the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And this way, I'm going to pass for our safety manager, Albert.
Now that we covered quality control, I would like to talk about safety. With the EMR rating of 0.57, Raider Construction sends a strong message that safety is our top priority and it's also the foundation of our culture. This project will count with a full-time safety manager that is OSHA 500 certified, CPR certified, and is also degreed in occupational health and safety. Safety is our priority overall, and this includes pedestrians. And with the location of this project, pedestrian presence is heavy. Due to previous projects that we have completed in the area, Raider Construction has developed a strong communication and relationship with the Utah Department of Transportation, local authorities, where we have created a public hazard plan that ensures pedestrian safety. In this plan, it includes temporary sidewalk closures and detours while crane operations are taking place. I would like to invite you to scan our QR codes that will lead you to our safety app called Safety Track. Safety Track helps us monitor site attendance by scanning a QR code at entry and exit points. In this site, you will also find safety compliance training and mandatory training, and it will also help and monitor safety compliance. In this app, you will also find our emergency plan that will lead you to our nearest muster points and our local hospitals. And with this, I will safely handle the floor back to our senior estimator, Anna.
Thank you, Alva. So I think at this point, you guys all understand that we are the best general contractor to be building this job for you. We have an awesome project management plan, making sure our deliveries are predictable. Our quality control plan, reducing any rework and making sure you have the best product at the end of this project. And then safety, right? We developed our own app. We are accounting for all the safety items that are involved in this project because not only do the workers matter for us, but the end users do too. This is a hotel. This is where you're going to be bringing your families in and you're going to be having the best vacation of your life. And we want to make sure that you're going back home safe at the end of the day. And with that, I'll open the floor to any questions.
Hi, great job. I do have a question for you. Can you tell me a little bit about the technologies and the softwares you guys intend to use on this project?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually some of the big things that we use is laser screening. This will ensure that the quality is done to the perfection of the plans, and it also creates a bit. It also coordinates with BIM to create a 3D model to ensure that everything's done right. And then we also have a drone on site. One of our area superintendents is actually has a license to be able to do this on a daily basis if need be to ensure that there are no safety hazards before even stepping into the field.
Right here up front. Quick question on your in your safety. I didn't see anything about safety awards. Like it seemed like your safety program is really punitive. But do you have any awards? Like, do you reward safe behavior from your contractors?
Yes, per OSHA, we do reward our contractors by giving them bonuses, if they meet, our rates, our safety rates, if they are under, like a high number, but we do reward them.
Your general conditions and requirements for the or your general requirements were uh, pretty high for the project. Can you kind of walk me through what those included?
Yeah, of course. So we understand that this project is in a very urban area, right? So we are accounting for not only our staffing, making sure we have supervision on site at all times, but also all the protection that goes into it. And if you refer to our utilization plans, you're going to see we have barricades, we have fencing. So we wanted to make sure that we have enough of that to make sure that, again, not only the workers are safe, but also the pedestrians that are living around the active job site.
I got one right here. So you mentioned that safety is your number one priority, but in my experience, priorities change. So what happens if production needs to be a priority? How do you handle that with safety?
We understand that production in some cases need to be pushed, but safety is our priority. When we think about safety, we think about family, and we will ensure that family goes home back to their families. And this above all, safety is, like I mentioned, our top priority. Thank you.
So you had mentioned, sorry, over here. You had mentioned that you are self-performing the drywall. And so I have two questions. One, does that equate to at least 7% of the total cost of work? And two, what have you done to ensure that that scope is competitive with the market?
So, yes, it is at least 7% of our overall cost of work, if not more. But I would need to get back to you exactly on what that percentage is, and making sure that that is competitive. Like I said, we are local. We work with the local subcontractors, so we would never have someone that went very low with their bid and put your guys' project in jeopardy. So working closely with subcontractors that we are already familiar with makes that price competitive. Um, yeah.
Taking a look at your GCs, it looks like you did not include a project accountant. For a project this large, how do you plan on managing your billings without one?
So yes, it's not on the general conditions exhibit, but it is something that we account for under our overhead costs, and that also applies to our project executive. That would be under our own overhead costs.
Who built your guys' website from the QR code? QR code is pretty epic. So thanks for doing that. And I'm reading it right now. It says provides comprehensive services, including pre-construction and cost estimating. So we actually have a $10 million budget problem. So what would you suggest to help get us there? Any thoughts or ideas?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
So we have a $10 million budget problem
Mhm.
and wondering what ideas you have to reduce scope or come up with alternative ways to help get us there.
I think that's a conversation that would need to be between us, so the contractor, the owner, as well as the architect after the project kickoff. I think it's very specific, and I think it can definitely be done, but I think it's a further conversation.
Like,
Hmm.
good afternoon, front left. Quality is really important to us as obviously it's a high profile project with high end finishes. Can you talk through your quality control policy and what do you see as the most challenging QC hurdle on this project?
Uh, the high-end finishes will be our priority. We have created a program that from the production phase, we'll be doing visits to the job site We're gonna be tracking the delivery. We need to have pictures before and after our finish our in on the trucks, and when the it arrives on our job sites, we need to inspect everything and make sure they are well stored and protect for the environment and anything that can happen on an active job site.
Got one here. At times, subtrades start to fall behind. How do you manage that situation? And then how quick can you come up with a mitigation plan to get the project back on track?
Yeah. So as I said, we've worked in the area before, so we know a lot of the local areas to be able to step in if need be, to be able to ensure that the schedule does not get delayed, to ensure that the completion date will stay the completion date.
And over here. I love the idea of the community newsletter. Great idea. You did mention multiple points of contact though. Who is my daily point of contact? And has he had and second part of the question, has this team worked together before?
Yes. So our normal point of contact is going to be our senior superintendent, but I also want to put my information on there too, so they could always contact me as well.
And our team has worked together in various projects. And this team is specific. We've been working together for over 10 years.
I have a question regarding the estimate. Does your current estimate include any escalation or contingencies for the current escalated pricing in petroleum?
Yes. So the way we're gonna mitigate that will be to just purchase everything early and ahead of time when the project kicks off after NTP. Um, and then the contingency, yes, we do have the 3% of contingency that if needed be, we'll go down and use it. But that again will need to be a further conversation when and if that happens.
Right here. Back to your team experience. Obviously, you guys put some of your recent relevant projects that you have. Can you talk a little bit about who on your proposed team have worked on any of these projects, if you guys have, and how you guys have worked together?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually all worked on those three projects. We've been working, as I said, some of these were done in 2022. So these were the main guys to execute every single one of those. And that's why we feel like we're the best fit, because we've dealt with all the situations as I spoke of in the original presentation.
So your site logistics shows two tower cranes that are going to be running on the project. What is your plan to ensure that those tower cranes can work together at the same time without collision?
We have developed a specific radius that each tower crane can go. That way, we will avoid any collisions and also avoiding the cranes going over any personal and other thing that can hurt our people.
Question in the front right here. Your updated schedule that included the addenda scope doesn't look to be meeting our project completion timeline to support the NBA All-Star game. Is that something that you guys are willing to look at to accelerate that back to the need by date?
Yeah, so that was just a quick schedule. We will adjust to it and sit down with the architect team as well as sit down with my team to be able to give you an answer back once we're given this award, and continue forward with that to be able to execute that for that All-Star game.
What does the $20 million value that you put in there for addendum 4 represent?
Addendum 4. So the changes that you see under those addendum 4 through 6 will account for the new guest rooms that we're adding, as well as the all the changes that were requested of us. I can't recall exactly now what it is, but we can definitely I can get back to you on that specifically and give you a press breakdown.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you sized your cranes? What was the heaviest pick and what size is your cranes?
So we have two cranes, one of them that goes up to 400, a little over 400 feet, and the other one goes up to a little over 350. And the reason I did that is so that way there's never a passing and one of them could handle all the topping part of it. And I wanted to make sure that it could not only carry the weight, but as well as do the radius that we needed to ensure all the glazing's done in the phases that we have in the sequence.
What's the number one, right up here, number one biggest concern you have with our project, and how are you going to mitigate it?
So the number one concern is honestly public safety. That is a huge concern just because of how tight the area is. What we're bringing up with, the glazing, the stainless steel pool, the form boards for the concrete. Wind could push it. So the way we are going to mitigate that is to put a wind speed limit of 25 or over. So if the wind goes past that, we'll immediately stop the work to ensure the safety of not only our personnel but anybody around it as well.
Can you talk about your relationship with the AHJ on this project and how you're going to make sure the ownership group is in a good light with them throughout the course of construction?
Yes. Um, since day one, our managers are required to be in contact to our municipality, and they must include the owners on those meetings. This way, everybody will be on the same page when it comes for on inspections and anything related on the project.
Following up on the crane plan, right here. You mentioned the curtain wall. What is your plan for the 190,000-pound trusses in that tight space?
So for that, for the structural steel trusses, what I developed was a 300-ton crawler crane. And what I'm going to do to reinforce the flooring for the level one is put some shoring as well as a grillage system so that way it could take the weight and be able to do it so that way the tower crane is not moving across the whole entire project. And that crawler crane is specifically just going to be for the structural steel.
Can you walk me through how you would oh, right here. Can you walk me through how you would handle a scope gap or incomplete drawings?
Yeah, so right away we would put in an RFI to get as much information as we can from the architect team and the engineers. And if there's any more questions, we'll continue that communication to get the exact plans of what is needed to be able to execute it in safety with quality as well.
Up front here again, what do you plan on to accomplish in the 4 to 6 weeks after being awarded the contract?
So in those 4 to 6 weeks, as soon as we're given the award, we're going to start with mobilization and start with the procurement process because we understand that there are long lead times with this project. So that will be our first point of execution is to ensure that the material arrives on time so that way there's no delays to our completion date.
Wallace, why is Vin Diesel qualified to play you in the movie adaptation of this project?
And I feel like we both have, same similarities. So that's why I chose Vin Diesel.
We have time for one more question.
Hi. We're interviewing 9 other firms today for this project. Can you tell me why we should choose you?
As you saw us before, we talked about quality, we talked about safety, we talked about project management and estimating. But what we are also big on is relationships. We want to build a relationship not only with you, just as well as we built it with all the local vendors. And I think building that relationship, it will be able to ensure that your vision gets done to what you want it to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.